Through extensive research, we've put together a list of the 5 white graphics cards currently available on the market. Links for all the GPUs mentioned in this video will be in the description box below. Number 5. The best white GPU for 1080p gaming. Gigabyte's RTX 3060 Vision is almost completely indistinguishable from their higher performing cards. It has the same brushed silver exterior, same programmable LED bar, and the same number of fans, which might be a tad excessive for one of the least powerful entry in the 3000 series. But overclockers will appreciate the extra help. Gigabyte's really stretched this card to the limit as well, loading it up with 12 GB of VRAM and boosting the clock rate from 1.3 GHz to 1.8 GHz. Even then, it's not great for 4K, with any major titles from the last 2 to 3 years dropping below 60 FPS. However, at 44p and 1080p, you'll see 60 FPS plus solid performance, even from the majority of this year's games. There were some higher-end games that struggled to get about 60, especially on 1440p displays, so it might not be as future-proof as some of the other GPUs on this list. Besides that, the 3 fans and large heatsinks have been carried over from Gigabyte's design of their other GPUs in the series. So you're getting cooling powerful enough to handle a 3080 or 3090 on a card that's not going to put out nearly that much heat. Like most smaller cards, it only offers 1 HDMI port, but 3 display ports, which will be important to keep in mind if you have multiple monitors that can only be connected with HDMI cables. Overall, the 3060 from Gigabyte is an excellent choice for gamers on a budget, as it's one of the most budget-friendly entries in the 3000 series. For a fair price tag, you get a fantastic 1080p performance and a very attractive metallic design that will easily become the centerpiece of any whiteout build. Number 4. The best white GPU for 1440p gaming. Right out of the box, the Zotac RTX 3070 looks compact and powerful, which is exactly what you'd expect from a 3070 GPU. It boasts a beautiful all-white construction with large fans and an illuminated logo, but no other LED components. The 3070 is widely considered to be the best price for the money of the 3000 series, and testing it out on some of our games, it's not hard to see why. Despite its smaller size and lower performance compared to the more expensive cards, we were able to run just about everything on max settings above 60 FPS, not just at 1080p, but at 1440p as well, though there were a couple of more demanding games that dropped below 60 FPS. Now, this is a more compact version of the 3070, so the dual fans might have to work a bit harder in case your cooling isn't at 100%. Or if you're going to put a lot of demand on it for extended periods of time. That being said, it holds up well and even runs fairly quiet if you're not putting too much strain on it. Lastly, there are 3 display ports, but only 1 HDMI, so if you're using an older or cheaper monitor for multi-monitor displays, that might cause some issues. Overall, this is a fantastic graphics card that will allow you to play most games on high settings at both 1080p and 1440p. It doesn't perform as well as its more powerful cousins, but the price-to-performance ratio is probably the best in the 3000 series lineup. Number 3. Best white graphics card from AMD. The launch of Radeon 6000 series didn't manage to unseat NVIDIA as the reigning king of GPUs, but they're still exceptional GPUs. The Power Color Hellhound Spectral White edition of this GPU makes our video because of the extra cooling, sleek all-white construction, and subtle white LED glow built into the chassis. In terms of raw specs, the RX 6700 XT is closer to the 3080 than its nearest competitor, the 3070. It has a full 12 GB of VRAM and a base clock rate of 2.4 GHz that can be boosted to 2.6 GHz. This is a common feature of AMD components. Better raw specs and a better price, but they're often not quite as smooth on performance. In terms of gaming performance, it feels like it's not making the best use of the onboard power. True, it's capable of delivering 100+ FPS performance on all graphics settings for nearly all of this year's games, provided you're sticking with a 1080p display. At 1440p, you're only going to be solidly above 60 FPS for games that are more than a year old. On max settings, some of this year's releases are going to be hovering right around 60 FPS or dropping slightly below. One of the main adjustments PowerColor has made to this card is the addition of a third fan, which is going to help with cooling and performance overall, and allow you to have longer and more intense gaming sessions without worrying about the card's lifespan. In terms of connectivity, there's only one HDMI port, which we're not fans of, but 3 display ports, so if you're going for a multi-monitor display, you'll need to hook them up that way. Overall, this white edition of the RX 6700 XT from PowerColor is a fantastic white graphics card that offers excellent 1080p and 1440p performance, in many cases better than its main competitor, the 3070. And on top of that, it comes with a beautiful all-white construction that's going to fit right into any white-themed build. Number 2. Our recommendation for the majority of users. The GeForce RTX 3080 Ti, available through Gigabyte, their Vision OC edition, is an attractive version of a card that doesn't pull any punches. The exterior is brushed silver, a perfect fit for any of your more metallic white build ideas. It's a simple, sturdy-looking design, and it gives a powerful, functional look to one of the best GPUs currently available. Fans of RGB won't be left out either, with a large addressable LED strip along the front of the card. The RTX 3080 Ti is a midpoint between the 3080 and the 3090, and so it offers 12 GB of VRAM compared to the slightly lower 10 GB offered by the 3080. The 12 GB of VRAM is going to be enough to run above 60 FPS, usually up to 100 FPS, and more on maximum settings for all of this year's major games on a 1440p display. There are a few games that will drop below 100 FPS. Though not lower than 60 FPS, and you'll have to either take a frame rate hit or lower your settings to run anything from this year at 4K. If you're sticking with a 1080p display, you'll be able to keep running new releases at max settings and high frame rates for a few years with this one. Or, if you're looking to upgrade some old favorites to 1440p or 4K, this card is going to totally deliver. The 3080 Ti was made to compete with the 3090 at a lower price point, and you need powerful cooling to make that happen. This version of the 3080 Ti has 3 powerful and carefully engineered fans for optimal performance, as well as large heat sinks. Overall, the 3080 Ti is one of the best white GPUs you can get, and our personal favorite. If you like the design of this card and run a 1440p display, this might be even a better choice for you than the 3090. The drop in performance isn't as significant as the drop in price. Number 1. The best white GPU overall. The customization done by ASUS Republic of Gamers division makes the ASUS ROG Strix as gorgeous as it is powerful. Sometimes you have to be flexible to get a component that will fit with an all-white themed build, but the ROG Strix 3090 is all white, plus the 3 RGB fans really makes it stand out. The 3090 is synonymous with raw power, and ROG's adjustments have done nothing to take that away. It has the full 24 GB of VRAM, which allows image data to be saved locally and loaded far more quickly than with other less powerful graphics cards. The most demanding games currently on the market only require 8 to 12 GB of VRAM, so the high video memory of the 3090 may be more than many gamers need for the current generation of games. The other advantage is a great deal of future-proofing. Plus, if you also do a high degree of animation or video editing, this is going to be the best available fit for you. With this card, you're going to be able to run any game currently on the market at ultra settings with well above 60 FPS. Admittedly, it's not perfect when it comes to playing at 4K resolution, and you may run into some noticeable FPS drops. However, for the more common 1440p gaming, it'll be the refresh rate of your display, not your frames per second, that's the ceiling. We expect this standard of performance to hold true for the next few years at least. Like most of the options in the 3090 line, this card also has 3 fans, RGB capable in this case, and a fairly large, well-situated radiator. As long as you have adequate case cooling, this is going to keep the 3090 at an even temperature, even for extended periods of use. Overall, there's nothing bad to say about the card itself, apart from the fact that it might be too powerful for some users. However, if you have a use and budget for it, this is hands down the best white graphics card available on the market. Alright guys, these were the top 5 white graphics cards available on the market in 2022. Be sure to check out the description to find out the most up-to-date prices of all the GPUs mentioned in this video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you're new to the channel and like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. We do our best to keep you up to date with the best products on the market, so if you want to stay updated on the best gear, make sure to hit that subscribe button. See you soon.